You don't have to work for money, like kind of money works for you, you know what I
mean? You're listening to Investing for Good, a show that brings you the stories and strategies of people who are investing to build a legacy for their families, create a meaningful and intentional life by design, and impact the world around them. And now, here are your hosts, Annie Dickerson and Julie Lamb.
Hey, Julie, how are you today?
I'm good, Annie. How are you?
I'm pretty good, but just, it's the holiday season, the holiday rush. You know, there's just so much stuff to do all the time.
I know, between like the shopping, getting the Christmas tree, hiding the gifts from the kids. I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing about that.
Wait. So you actually have the gifts in your house? I haven't even ordered the gifts yet.
Annie, we're like less than a week away? Yeah. Usually we start doing our shopping on Black Friday. And that's when the shopping starts, and it's perfect timing. And then you get the gift, sometime, and then you get them wrapped, and then you get them under the tree so that you can create all that anxiety of like, ooh, what is in that red box over there, and pick it up.
Right.
That's what Christmas is all about. You gotta get on it, Annie.
Oh my gosh. No, Christmas in our house is also about celebrating our older son's birthday, which happens 4 days before Christmas. So it's like everything all at once.
Yeah, that must be such a tough thing to like separate the two, I talk to parents who are like, oh no, we just do it all together. And then other ones are like, no, we try to, celebrate the birthday and then do Christmas and keep it very separate. So,
yeah, we try to keep it very separate, but it just ends up being a lot around this time of year. I mean, it was the same. My husband and I got married on October 6th, which is one day after my birthday on October 5th. And so I'm very much of a separate celebrations person. And so I gave him 1 year to get it right. And I said, honey, you got 1 year. You got to do two separate things. And sure enough, October 4th comes along and he's like, oh, we're just going to do one thing, right? We're going to go out for dinner. I'm like, nah. So the following year we changed it. So now we do two separate things. So
there you go. That's what you have to do, is do two separate things. Otherwise somebody feels like they're getting stiffed is usually what ends up happening.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Well, today on the podcast, we have a really special guest, Sharon Tseung, and she's the owner of Digital Nomad Quest. And, I had heard the term digital nomad before, but Sharon is really living it. She's one of the few people I know who's actually a digital nomad, meaning she's living the laptop life essentially, and she's able to work from anywhere in the world, which is incredible.
I know. It's so amazing. I actually didn't know what a digital nomad was until we've talked with Sharon, and now she basically explained how she did it and what she did. And she shared so many little nuggets of like little strategies that I'm like, I was furiously jotting my notes, and I'm going to have to like re-listen to this episode so that I can go back and figure out, okay, what did she say was the best thing to do for X? And she just dropped so many nuggets. So it's such a great episode.
I knew you would love this one because
me.
Julie's always talking about like, oh, I want to start an Amazon thing or an Etsy thing. Yeah. And so I knew this would be so perfect.
Yes.
It's
such a good episode. And Sharon has lived it, done it. She's actually back now in the Bay Area and working a full-time job, but she's created all these passive income streams, and we talk in detail about all of those. So great show.
Excellent show. There's so much good stuff in it. Check it out. You're going to enjoy this one with Sharon Tseung of Digital Nomad Quest. Sharon, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Very good. Now, Sharon, over the past few years, you've done something that most people only dare to dream of. Now, I'll try to sum it up here, but you had a perfectly good job as a marketing manager here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And rather than work that job day in and day out until retirement, you decided to quit your job in 2016, and you spent 2 years. I can't believe it. 2 years traveling the world and building up multiple streams of passive income as a digital nomad. Now, for those who are listening who might never have heard that term before, digital nomad, start by telling us what a digital nomad is, and then tell us your story about your transition from a full-time employee to becoming a digital nomad.
Yeah, so basically a digital nomad is someone who works location independently from wherever they want from the comforts of their laptop. So I pretty much learned about this through like YouTube videos and blogs and stuff like that. And I was like, I should try to do this because I had been in the Bay Area for like most of my life. So basically in 2016, I quit my job, traveled the world for 2 years as a digital nomad, built passive income streams through Etsy, Amazon, and blogging, and then decided to come back to a marketing position actually. But I think what sparked it all was really trying to see other ways of living and seeing like other cultures and stuff like that. And I had just been here for so long, been in a cubicle for so long that I wanted to see what else was out there. So yeah, basically my story, like I ended up just studying tons of books and resources and stuff like that, trying to see about how I could build passive income streams. And I actually started with like real estate investment, and then it led me to like online business type of stuff, which is where I came across like Etsy, Kindle, Amazon, like Merch by Amazon stuff, Amazon FBA, blogging, like tons of avenues. And it made me realize there are tons of ways to make money online and make it passively so that, basically you don't have to work for money, like kind of money works for you, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was the whole thing that sparked it. And I just like went down this rabbit hole of like studying so much. And then I decided to take the leap. 6 months out, I booked like a flight to Stockholm, like a one-way. And I was thinking I could either just do it or not, but like I might as well try. So by that time I was able to secure some part-time remote positions as well as start building up some of the passive income streams. And then I basically took the leap.
So what was the first, you mentioned REI, real estate investment was like the first thing that you did. What was that? Was it a single family home or?
Yeah, I mean, well, back when I was actually 22, I got my first rental in like Antioch as a single family home, but I didn't like know too much about it. Like my parents helped guide me through a lot of the process. I put the money down, but then I started thinking, oh, that's like one path to really making passive income. So I was like going to meetups and then just studying a lot there. So I want to get back into it again, but that was like the main, like it still makes me passive income to this day. Yeah.
And what did your parents teach you? Like, did they help you buy the home or did you use your own money?
So I used my own money, but like my brother helped me with half at first and I just paid him back and then it's under my name basically. But my parents had like a connect with an agent. And then that person was like, oh, there's this property. Are you interested in it? And then they asked me like, oh, would you be interested in getting a rental property? And I was like, yeah. So that's basically what happened. Yeah. And then we like renovated it a little bit, put in, I think like 13 grand to like renovate it. And then, yeah, it rents out really well. So.
And what are the numbers on that? If you don't mind sharing, do you know like what kind of like rent are you getting? How much did you put down?
Yeah. How much did I put down? It's been a while. I would say maybe like around 80 grand ish, how much I put down.
Okay.
That's kind of after like the fees as well as like remodeling and stuff like that. The cash flow numbers, I need to pull them up, but like I basically make around 700 a month from like after everything. Yeah. So, I also have a property manager. I pay him, as well. And then it comes out to that much. So. Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking is because I think, a lot of people find motivation in that, right? Like $700 a month. That's not like, we're not talking about, like $50 a month here. We're talking about, grocery money, potentially, you save that up for a year. You're talking about a trip to go somewhere. Like it's a good way to introduce you to the idea of putting your money to work and creating passive income. So you started there in the real estate investing, and then how did you transition to other things? Because I'm super curious about that because I've only done real estate investing and I've been so curious about, creating an online store or something that I don't have to really put too much time and energy into. And so I guess that's a question is that possible to have like an Amazon store, kind of Etsy store, something where you don't have to put time and energy into it and it actually, cash flows and provides passive income. So how did you make that transition from a real estate investment and then actually get into doing something that's, more non-investment related, so to speak, and more of like a business?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like that experience with the rental home, that was like years before actually, and then I was kind of just like studying it again to like be like, oh, maybe I can purchase my next one. But then like I ended up reading a bunch of books on like how to like create a website and like get clients if I wanted to, like if I wanted to make my websites for them or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, it just ended up like leading to a bunch of other avenues of like Etsy and Amazon. And I think they all still work. Like, more and more people are getting onto it, but you can still definitely make a lot on all those platforms.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So walk us through how this works, because you're blowing my mind right now. So walk us through how this works. Do you have a product that you sell on Etsy?
Yeah. So,
or Amazon?
Yeah. On Etsy, I sell like digital downloads. So like Photoshop templates and Microsoft Word templates. So they're digital files and they just live on Etsy. And then that's what makes it so passive that when they purchase, they automatically get their files.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like wedding card templates or like photography mini sessions, ads and stuff like that. So yeah, you just design those and put those in your shop, but it's not even limited to like design work. Cause if you think about it, like maybe in real estate investing, like you can put up like spreadsheets of like how you analyze like deals and stuff, and they can like put their numbers in. Yeah. And that could be something you sell. So there are a lot of different opportunities, and yeah, that's on the Etsy side. And then FBA. So I don't know if you've heard of Fulfillment by Amazon. Yeah. Okay. So you basically work with like manufacturers, maybe in China, and they ship over product for you to the warehouse. And basically, whenever you get sales, Amazon will ship it from their warehouse to like whoever purchased it, right? So that makes it pretty passive, because after you find winning products, you can like keep replenishing, just like telling the manufacturer, oh, I need like another this many units, and then it just like keeps going. So yeah, what
kind of products are these?
Yeah, I sell little so I try to just look for small, lightweight items that you basically kind of do research on Amazon of like what ranks well in terms of like what's selling, as well as like how many competitors you have. So you want to get that like good middle area where it kind of intersects those two of like, oh, there's not like too much competition, but it's also making money. And then that's where you kind of try ordering samples from the manufacturer and then getting it private labeled, shipping it over, and then testing it out basically.
And then is it a matter of just creating like the images and the description and the like that kind of thing to make it stand out from other products?
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing you would want to do is maybe like see if there's something you can improve upon like one of the products that you'd order from manufacturers, compare it to what's already available, and then kind of tweak it and then like make it the best it can be, and then try to get ratings, try to make the best photos and descriptions. So yeah.
So up front, there's certainly like a time investment into this, right? Like to get it to a point of being passive, because I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. Like, yeah, like trying to figure out like what it is, and then getting the reviews, and then like, all of that. That just sounds like so much work. But do you get to a point where it is passive? Like after you get the shop set up and you've got a lot of reviews, or like, does it ever get to a point where you don't have to do anything?
Yeah, basically, like when it gets to, if it ranks well on the first page or something like that, it'll keep getting sales. So you just keep replenishing it. So you just need to make sure you don't like run out, because that can hurt your rankings pretty hard. Yeah, but that was probably my third like passive income stream I started pursuing. And then, so Etsy was like my first one. I tried Kindle a little bit, but I was like, it's not really my thing. And then Merch by Amazon was actually the next one, which was actually like even more passive than like any of these other streams.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the idea is you design custom designs for apparel or like mugs and stuff like that, and you upload that onto that platform, and Amazon will actually put it on, you know, custom apparel and stuff and ship it out. So you don't have to like do anything. You don't have to own the inventory, same thing. But the reason why it's even more passive than Etsy is that like there's no customer support that you need to do, and it's all like in royalties, so it's like really easy.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is so smart because I used to have an Etsy store. I do designs, and I thought, oh, what a fun way to, you know, have somewhere to put my designs. And so I created an Etsy store, but my fatal mistake was I didn't do digital files. I thought, oh, well, I want people to hang my artwork in their house. So I'm going to send them a print and I'm going to get it printed and drop shipped to them. So I worked out this whole funnel to where I would actually ship them a physical product. And then after a while, I realized, it's such a chore to have to do that every time. I hated it when people made an order because then I'd have to go in and fulfill the order. And it was too much. And so I had to close the store. But what you're talking about is it seems so much more passive and something that you can do from really anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's very passive. And actually, for what you're saying, there are different services now that like you can partner with to do that. I think Printful, you can print posters. So like you could just upload the design and they'll like do it for you as well. So that could be something to explore too. So that one's like print on demand is what they call it. It's kind of like Merch by Amazon, but yeah, they have partners like Printful, TeePublic, and like a bunch of other ones that do stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll get back to our conversation with Sharon in just a minute.
Have you been thinking about investing in real estate but aren't sure you have the time or the desire to manage the investment? Perhaps you're afraid, like we were, that you'll make the mistake of choosing the wrong market or the wrong team and lose your entire investment. Well, that's exactly why we created the Goodegg Investor Club. We do the work of identifying solid real estate investment opportunities in the best markets around the country and then partner with you to acquire these investments, and then we'll all share in the returns. We'll identify the growing markets, strong, experienced teams, and the solid deals. We do all the heavy lifting of managing the tenants and the renovations, and as a passive partner, you get to enjoy all the benefits of investing in real estate: monthly cash flow, long-term appreciation, and the ongoing tax benefits. When we first discovered passive investing through real estate syndications, we realized it fit perfectly into our busy lives. We could put our money to work for our families, work less, and get more time back in our days so that we could focus on what matters most and discover our true passion and purpose in life. We've now helped hundreds of people invest passively in real estate syndications and are seeing the positive impact it's had on their lives. We invite you to partner with us by joining the Goodegg Investor Club today so you can start putting your money to work for you and get more time back in your day, because we know that when people have more time in their days, they can do the true work they were intended to do, and the world will be a better place. To sign up for the Goodegg Investor Club, go to goodegginvestments.com/invest and we'll take it from there. That's goodegginvestments.com/invest.
And now, back to our chat with Sharon Tseung.
You've quit your job, you've built up all these, so within, let's say, the first year that you had quit your job and you were traveling the world, how many of these different passive income streams did you pursue and had you built up?
In the first year. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of a very slow progress, to be honest, because I think the first, like most of that first year, I was doing some part-time remote work as well, and then doing like the passive income on the side till I like slowly transition. So I think the first year I really focused on like Etsy and as well as like blogging. So you can also, you know, make affiliate commissions and stuff like that through that, as well as ad money.
Right.
So yeah, I was focusing on that. And then like maybe after that first year, I started expanding. After I found that worked well, I was like, let me try new ones. And then I think a lot of people say you should focus on one. I think that's probably a better idea, but I just really like experimenting with a lot of different ones. And I do like believe in diversifying. So like it ended up working like every single one I attempted. it all makes money. So it's just a matter of which one aligns with your strengths, with your time and capital, and then going for it and staying persistent.
And what kind of part-time work were you doing? You said you were doing like part-time remote work. Like what kind of things do you do?
Yeah, so it's all marketing related. So the job I quit, they actually asked if I would, work part-time remotely. So that was one, as well as I designed like Facebook ads for a marketing agency. I did that as well and like managed their account for another like agency. So I was doing like a bunch of different remote jobs that was around paid ads mainly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's so important for people to hear because it's not like you quit your job, snapped your fingers, and all of a sudden you had all this passive income coming in. It was like a process, right? It was trial and error, and you had to put in the time to research and to build up each passive income stream one by one. And so now, okay, so the first year it was sort of slow going and you were trying to figure things out. And so then in that second year, did things pick up?
Yeah, I mean, I think towards that end of that first year, I was like, oh, it's working. And then it kind of, I tried all these other ones and Merch by Amazon picked up super quickly. So it was one after another. And I was like, wow, these all work. And then I was, just enjoying life. Like in Chiang Mai, Thailand was like where I spent 4 months there. And it's crazy because the expenses were like $600 a month there for me, where that included everything. That included like flights, accoms, and like entertainment, food, like everything, So it was crazy that everywhere I traveled to, like I didn't spend that much. I spent like maybe $1,000 a month, like average, So it's pretty crazy.
So how did you like, I kind of want to take it back a little bit, back to like making that decision. Cause this is something that I struggled with when around the time that I met Annie, was making that decision to quit your job. So had you created some passive income already at the point that you quit your job, or how did you get the confidence to say, okay, I'm just going to quit my job and I'm going to go travel the world? Like, I think that's such a hard concept for so many people to take from, it sounds like a great idea, to let's make this a reality. So how did you like do that? What did was passive income already a part of that and you already had that going? And so you saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and you saw the possibility of all of that? Or what did that picture look like at the time that you made the decision to leave?
Yeah, I think at that time I was kind of unhappy. Like I was going to the same place every day and just like experience, like at work every day, and just like I could be out there like enjoying life type of thing. And I was living at home for a while. I wanted to save on rent. Like I didn't want to pay rent. So I lived in Fremont basically, and it's like pretty dull. Like there's not much to do, and then everyone's living it up in the city but spending a lot of money. So I was just like, I feel like I deserve this. I deserve like a break and like to travel. But also I thought it was kind of financially responsible too, because you can build passive income streams that like remain for life, and the expenses are a lot less, like versus if I just if I lived in SF, the rent is already crazy, like way more than I even spent traveling the world, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a good decision. And then when I thought about it more, it made sense. And I was like, all right, let me like find those remote positions. And that made me feel a lot more secure. I also booked like 6 months of flights and accommodations in advance, because I was like, I want to make sure I'm like a risk averse person. So I like prefer to have everything like structured and figure it out. So I was like, all right, let me book all this. And I felt safe, like, because I had those income streams going. I started making a little bit in passive income, but like not much. It was like literally $100 a month or something. And I was like,
at the point when you quit, it was like $100 a month.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. Really low, know. I was like, and I was like, this is enough for me to realize like it can work if I just put in the time. So that whole like 6 months before I left was like all preparation for that moment. Because I just felt like it was the right move for me personally.
Yeah. That's something I feel like for me too, that I felt like I had started investing in real estate, and I had started my syndication, equity raising company, and I saw the power of it. So I hadn't like completely replaced my income from that source, but it was like enough to show me that this was working, and that if I left my job and if I committed myself full time to that, then who knows where it could go, you know? And so that was like the thing that gave me the confidence. But I think that's important for people to know, because I get this question so many times from investors, like asking, like, how did you know when it's time? Did you replace all of your income, some of it? Like, what did that look like? And the answer really is like, no, for me, I didn't. I had replaced some of my income. So I knew that like the process worked. But I think, having that faith that like, things could work out is a big part of what can give you that confidence to go out there and do it for real and, see if you can make a full-time thing out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you have like a good setup in the Bay Area, it's hard to like leave.
Yeah.
But there are people I've met who just up and left with $500 in their pocket and went to Chiang Mai. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of faith, because they had nothing going yet. Yeah. And they were just like, it's going to work. It's going to work. So yeah. So I think it's just my personality to be like, let me prepare everything and make sure it aligns with my values and my whatever. So like, yeah. So.
Cool. Okay, so I have to ask, during your travels, where did you go? Because it sounds like an epic trip.
Yeah, I spent the first 6 months in Europe, and then like the next 6 in Asia. I ended up coming back for a little bit, but I like traveled within US and Canada, and then I went back out to Asia. So when I first started in Europe, it was like Stockholm and then Athens for like a month, Bucharest. So I did month to month in each place, so that I had enough time to like work at cafes or whatever. So yeah, just like trying to live the local life, because that's what intrigues me more when it comes to travel. Like not just visiting attractions, like I actually like to speak with the people from there. So I did a month in Athens, a month in Bucharest, a month in Lisbon. And I did like some trips to Berlin and London, and then went to like Korea. There's so many different places: Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia.
Were you afraid at all ever as a, traveling as a young woman to all of these different countries and unfamiliar places? And I mean, was that ever, or were you like, no, that doesn't matter. Never thought about that.
Actually, I should rewind that. Like in 2014, I did a month-long solo Europe trip, by myself. And I think that made me feel kind of like, oh, this is doable. I was actually supposed to travel with a friend, and she bailed. And then I was like, I'm just going to go. Yeah. So I think it's like not as scary as people think. And it's a matter of just being safe like you normally would, back home.
Yeah.
So I think as long as you are mindful, like of safety and everything, like it should be okay. So I think I almost got pickpocketed once, but that was like the only thing I experienced.
Oh, nice. Wow. That's not bad at all. I mean, that can happen in SF on BART, which I never ride.
Yeah.
And I think that's so smart that, I mean, essentially you prototyped it, right? With that month-long trip, you tried it out to see if it could work for you. And then you said, this isn't so bad. And then you decided to go full on into it, which is what we always tell people is like, if you want to try something, just try, prototype it out in little chunks and see if it works.
Yeah, definitely. I ended up coming back, but I think in the future, I would definitely go back out again. And it's more about that freedom that passive income allows you, that you can do whatever you want. Like if it's not the right time for you to travel, you can just come back if you feel like it, So
how many of these different things do you have going on right now? Like currently still up and running, like the Etsy thing, the FBA, the merch by Amazon, what else do you have going on? Is it just those kind of like those 3 things, or what else? What other passive income streams do you have?
Yeah, so I would say like my rental property is one, and then merch by Amazon, Etsy, Amazon FBA. Actually, me and Sean partnered together to like start building my, because I had it going, but I was like, oh, maybe we can work on it together. So he's been like, I've been teaching him, and we've been like working on it together.
So fun.
That's been cool. Yeah. But also like affiliate marketing, I would say like my blog has been making also course sales and stuff like that. So I teach people how to build passive income on Etsy, basically like get your first 1,000 a month on Etsy type of thing. So I teach people through like the Teachable platform. So I use that, and I sell courses on my blog, as well as I also have a niche site. So I tested this out where I tried to rank a website and see if I could get affiliate marketing commissions, and that ended up working within just like 2 or 3 months. Like it started making like a few hundred a month passive income. Like everything works. Yes.
Wait, what is that? I don't even know what we're talking about here. Like, wait, so affiliate marketing, you created like a dummy website or like an actual website, or like what are we talking about here?
So I created basically a niche website where it's like, I did some research on how saturated it is on Google type of thing. Like if there's a bunch of search results for what I'm trying to rank for. And then I just get a bunch of blog posts up about the topic. And then if I promote some product and they purchase through that link, I make some commission. So that's still been going, and I haven't touched a lot of these income streams in a long time.
Oh my God.
Amazon FBA is the only one I've been like kind of revisiting. And then like Etsy customer support, basically. My main focus right now is to build up Digital Nomad Quest, the blog, the podcast, and the YouTube channel, so that I can, teach people how to design their lives and do the same type of thing. And that's been my focus, because it's been way more fulfilling. Another, like a big reason why I came back too, is that I felt like I was just kind of chasing these passive income figures, and I wanted to actually build a brand. Like I wanted to do something bigger. Yeah. And that's where like, I just felt like I needed to come home, and also surround myself with that ambitious energy in the Bay Area. I felt like a lot of expats who are in Chiang Mai and stuff like that, they wanted to just chill, off, the low expenses and stuff, just make enough to like cover it all. Yeah. And I just felt like I was too young to do that. And I just needed to come back and like hustle. Sorry, I got like off track, but that's so, I mean, that's something that we always talk about on the podcast, is like, why not just like go sit on a beach somewhere and like, just live off of your passive income. You've already done it. You've already replaced your income. Why not do that? And, a lot of it, I think, is because people want to help other people because it makes them feel good. And that's so much of what we do and why we do it. There's certainly other things we could be doing out there to make more money potentially. But at the end of the day, for us, it's really about making that impact, is what, like, I love getting up every day and doing what we do. I feel so blessed to be able to help be in a position where, we have been recognized and we're able to then help other people and make an impact. And, it's been so rewarding. So I totally can identify with that. And sitting on a beach and just basically doing nothing is not my idea of really living, so yeah, definitely. I mean, like having that option is nice, but like ultimately, if you're not fulfilled, like if you don't have some type of purpose type of thing, like it's not, you got to have something you're working towards, I think.
Yeah. So I'm curious that now that you said that, what do you feel like, and because this is something we talk about all the time, like, what do you feel like your purpose is, like, to here, on earth? Like, what do you think your like purpose is in life? Because I feel like when you get to a point where you're able to create enough passive income, and you don't have to worry about money so much, and that things like this work, that you can really just stop for a moment and think about, what do I really want to do? What am I super passionate about? What really drives me? And, do what you were meant to do. So what do you feel like that is for you?
Yeah, that's a big question, but I think currently I feel like what's been fulfilling is really to inspire others to design their lives. So when I get like messages where they're like, "Oh, you inspire me so much, like I've been able to do this and this," that really, makes me feel like, oh, I'm doing something that I believe in and it's helping others, and that's what I feel like maybe my purpose is currently. But I think my passion overall is really like creating. So I used to actually do music, and I was like a singer-songwriter and stuff. I did YouTube for music. Oh, cool. But that's kind of part of it too. That's like creating as well, on the music side, but also like businesses. Like I find that fun. Like building something from scratch is fun to me. Yeah. Even like I would love to even build a tiny house and stuff, like random stuff like that, So I'm all about just like creating stuff from scratch. So I guess my overall passion is that. I don't know if my big overall purpose is really that design your life thing is my definite purpose in
Yeah.
life or anything, but currently that's how it feels.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Cool.
Shall we transition to the Investing for Good impact round?
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Okay, Sharon, we're going to ask you 3 questions that we ask all of our guests. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is about investing in yourself. So, what is one way that your investments or your passive income streams are allowing you to live a better life?
Yeah, so I think especially after nomading for so long, it just made me feel like once you have that financial freedom, it really feels like you're not stuck to any one thing. So I think now that I am working at a full-time position, I don't feel like I need to be there or anything, but I'm learning so much from it. And it's just a good gig for me right now. And I feel like being able to create these businesses just like frees your mind up and everything. It just makes you feel unstuck, which I think a lot of people feel like these days. Like they feel stuck. They have to be at this job and they can't change paths. Kind of like what you said, like quitting is like really scary for people, So I guess that's probably my takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's such an inspiration that you actually went through and you did that. A lot of people talk about it, a lot of people dream about it, but so few people are actually doing that. And, so that's fantastic.
Thanks.
It's a good time to be alive right now. I mean, like when I think about where I was, like when I was your age, none of this was, obviously the internet was kind of just coming out, and the idea of even all of this was nothing.
Yeah.
It was still like, no, you go out there, you get a job and you work for the next 30 or 40 years and you buy a primary home. Like that's going to be your life. Like get used to it, But it's so incredible how, the internet and technology has opened up these doors and this changed the way that people are living in such a dramatic way to really be able to live, I feel like, so much more of a fulfilled, meaningful life. And so, it's a great time to be around.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think like new passive income streams are coming out every day. Like, doing something you love is not like impossible now. It's like you can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Second question. Now let's talk about investing in others. So what's the one investment strategy or a life hack or ninja hack that you can share that will really make an impact in others' lives right now?
So I would say, I guess in the whole passive income online business type of world, if you are kind of low on capital, I would say Etsy and Merch by Amazon are ones to pursue. If you have a lot of capital and less time, I would say like explore like Amazon FBA and perhaps like real estate investment. And I guess that would be my general like outlook on the passive income streams, where you're trying to figure out what do you have more of, time or capital, and figuring out which route works for you more, as well as figure out your strengths. So like just those 4, that would be kind of what I think. Also, if you have more time and like less capital, you could also try blogging. And then if you're okay with doing that long-term, build a brand type of thing, that's my advice as well. So hopefully that's kind of a ninja hack. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
No, it absolutely is. And that's a question that I get all the time from investors is, if I, and that's what I always tell folks is they come and they say, well, what should I do? And it's like, well, do you have more money or do you have more time? And that's really where I start my conversation, because most people, they're either lacking in one area or they have more in another. And so that really depends, based on their response. It depends on what my response would be to them in terms of how to move forward, right? Because sometimes people are just like, well, what should I do, Sharon? Like, what do I do? And it's like, well, I don't know, what do you have more of, time or money? And so I love that that's kind of like where you're starting in terms of like suggestions. So many good, I'm gonna have to go back and like listen to this again because I'm like quickly like jotting notes. I'm like, oh my God, wait, what did she say? I'm going to go back and listen to all of this so I can start creating my other streams of income, because it's, real estate investing is great, but it's like you said, it doesn't offer you the opportunity to diversify. And so what I love about what you're doing is there's all these different things that you're doing to help diversify where your passive income streams are coming from. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad it's helping.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, final question. Now let's talk about how you're investing in the world. So what's the one thing you're doing right now to make the world a better place?
Well, I guess I'm kind of saying the same thing again, but like, I think the whole design your life thing is what my message is, and how I try to help people, to inspire people to not feel like they have to be stuck at a full-time job if they don't want to. There are opportunities out there. Just being able to help people do that and discover multiple streams of income that they can pursue is just pretty fulfilling to me.
So I'm curious, do you work with people who are like within a certain age range? And if so, what is that age range? Like if somebody who was like, nearing retirement, like let's say they were like 55, 60, retirements in their, near-ish horizon, like do you ever get people like that who want to work with you and coach with you? Or is it mostly like younger folks who want to, spend 2 years traveling abroad, or what kind of people do you work with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not currently like coaching, but I did get an inquiry like this yesterday to like coach them. So I'm probably going to do that. But I think I get like a wide range. I would say like younger is usually especially because of the whole digital nomad idea. I think it appeals to younger people, but I've also gotten stuff from like digital nomad like families, which is pretty cool.
Families,
So it's all over the place, and I think it can still help any type of audience, to be able to become financially free. So,
well, Julie's got her page of notes, and I've certainly got a lot of things I want to follow up on too. So Sharon, tell us, where should people go to learn more?
Yeah, so you can go to my blog, digitalnomadquest.com. My YouTube is my full name, Sharon Tseung. And my podcast is the Digital Nomad Quest podcast with Sharon Tseung. So hopefully that's easy to remember. I also have a course on Etsy if you guys are interested in making passive income through that. So if you want to make your first 1,000 a month, I basically teach all my secrets in that one course. So you can check it out on my website.
Nice. We definitely will. I'm going to have to give Etsy another shot with this these digital files. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Well, Sharon Tseung, owner of Digital Nomad Quest. Sharon, thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through your incredible story and to share your wisdom with us today.
Thank you guys for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Investing for Good, the #1 podcast for people like you who are investing to build a legacy for their families, create a meaningful and intentional life by design, and impact the world around them. For more resources, check out goodegginvestments.com/podcast, and be sure to join the Investing for Good Facebook community. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review so we can continue to bring you amazing new conversations every week. Until next time, keep investing for good.